Hi, I'm Shanti, the artist behind Shanti Finance. Today I'm going to share with you 6 different techniques to paint snow with watercolors. Let's start with this first technique. So here I have wetted the whole quadrant with just some water, and you don't need puddles of water, just enough to get the whole surface wet so that when you apply paint it moves by itself and you don't have to put in much effort. And then I'm going to paint this whole area with this paint. Generally blue is a very common color used with painting snow, so I'm using blue here. Doesn't have to be blue, and for demonstration purpose any color may work. And then I'm going to use the salt. This is a regular salt that we use for cooking, that is available in our kitchen every day. And while the paint is partly damp, all you want to do is sprinkle this salt, and then you let the paint get 100% dry. Now my salt has dried 100%, so I'll gently rub it off the surface and dust it off as well. Like just dust it off onto the side. I want to get rid of all the salt. And if you can see, let me bring it closer to the screen. It has created beautiful sprinkles, just like snow would leave. Now you can use it a little less or a little more depending on how much snow effect you want. Now for the next technique, I'm going to paint this whole area with a single color. Once again, I'm choosing blue because blue is very normally associated with painting snow. But this is just a demonstration, so I could have used any color. Now what I've done is I've taken a toothpick and I've wrapped a small piece of paper towel around the rag. Now while the paint is still wet, I'm going to just dab it slightly and make sure the edge is sharp and pick up some paint. Now you can create very tiny effects just like this one, or like bigger areas just like this one, but make sure the paint is damp, otherwise it will not lift. Alternately, you can also use the edge of your paintbrush and lift off some paint, and it will work the same way, but I think the tissue paper works even better in this one. Now for the second technique, I have painted this whole quadrant blue already, and now I'm going to take some gouache paint in a tray and dampen it with a little bit of water, just enough to make it flowing, and then flick with the paintbrush on top of it. Now you could use your regular watercolor paint that comes with every set of watercolor. You get it white. It's generally the Chinese white that you get with every set, but this is not recommended for this technique because this is a pretty transparent watercolor. So you should use gouache, which is water based and behaves pretty much like watercolor, only that it is 100% opaque and not acrylic too, but you can use acrylic paint as well for this purpose. Now for the third technique, I'm going to use this crayon. It's a white crayon, regular crayon, nothing inexpensive or anything special about this, just the crayons that kids use in their work. You could use a piece of oil pastel too if you're an oil pastel artist, and just put random dots in different places. What this crayon does is that it creates a resist to the watercolor, because these crayons are wax based, or in case of oil pastel they are oil based. They do not mix with paint when you apply paint on top of it. Now see, I'm applying paint on top of the marks that I have made with my wax crayon or if you use, like I said, if you can use oil pastels as well, that it will just act the same way. And now that I'm putting paint on top of it, no matter how many layers of paint I go over with, it will still show through. The little dots will still show through because it works as a resist. So that was my third technique. On to my fourth technique. This works exactly like the previous one where I used the wax crayon or oil pastel as the resist. Just in this case, I am using this masking fluid as the resist. This is by Winsor & Newton, but you can use any masking fluid. It would work the same. So I'm taking some masking fluid on the brush and I'm just going to sprinkle it on the surface where I want to create the snow effect, and I'm going to let it dry 100%. Once it's 100% dry, I'm going to paint over it. Now my masking fluid has dried completely, and so I'm going to apply paint on top of it. And like I said, it works just like the wax resist or the oil pastel resist. If you will see that you can see through the little dots that the masking fluid has made, and those areas the paint will not seep through. Now I'll have to once again let this area dry 100%, and then I can remove the masking fluid and see the white splatters or white areas which will demarcate the snow. Now my paint has dried completely, so I will use my fingers to rub off this masking fluid, but you can use the edge of an eraser as well to do this job, or you can even use another tool if you don't want to use your hand, and then brush it off the surface. And when you brush it off, it will reveal the nice white snow effects that it has left behind. Now the last technique is more or less a dry brush technique. My brush has paint on it and very little water on it, and the surface is completely dry. So if I paint with this and then leave small areas, and this works even better on a rough watercolor paper or a cold press watercolor paper which already has some tooth to it, and you can see that these are creating effects of snow over here. So there you have it, 6 quick and easy and effective ways to paint snow. If you like this video, do not forget to share it with your friends and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button as well. Thank you for watching.